just such a gory comic, but it has beauty to it, but it also looks disgusting and disturbing. It's just such a cool comic. With the passing of Ed Piskor, I thought it would only be appropriate to cover Ed Piskor's work and do a video kind of celebrating Ed Piskor. And Ed had a huge impact in the comic book industry, not only through his comics, but through cartoonist kayfabe, where he introduced many people, like myself, to artists we had never heard of, or stories we had never heard of, just through his passion. I honestly think that you should go out and pick up as much of Ed Piskor stuff as you possibly can, because Ed really was a like amazing artist, an amazing comic book creator. So let's go through Red Room and take a look at this. Red Room is his most recent work. So this was a book that was pretty much a love letter to these artists like Tim Vigil, these outlaw artists. People like Tim Vigil, people like Hart Fisher, people like Joe Vigil, you know, artists that I cover on the channel. And you can definitely see it in just this very grotesque way this book is drawn. It's drawn in a way that is not very pleasing, and that's the point. However, I will say the moment I saw this panel, this drawing right here, I was instantly hooked. I was like, I think I saw it on Instagram or something, or maybe he posted it through the YouTube channel community, I'm not sure. And the moment I saw this, I was not only convinced that I had to pick this up, but I was absolutely convinced that Ed is just a great drawer. I mean, I don't know, this looks great to me. And I love how this character has that, like, I think it was Arthur Adams who did the Storm Mohawk. I mean, you can definitely see the inspirations, like the people who inspire him on the pages. I mean, look at that inking there of that tunnel. How cool is that? That is such a cool ink job there. I love it. And I love the inking of the water coming down, and like the circles as they're splashing into the water below. And I love this gray tone. I mean, he obviously was using, was it duotone paper? Because it has this very gray feel. But those inks pop so good. I don't know if it's the paper or what that makes it pop so well. But, man. I mean, we're looking at, Red Room is a grotesque book. But it's just so cool. It's just so cool. Like this gory, like it's just such a gory comic, but it has beauty to it, but it also looks disgusting and disturbing. It's just such a cool comic, and I'm so happy that Ed made it. And it you know, it has a very outlaw feel to it, but it also has sort of bits of Crumb in it and bits of like even mainstream artists as well. It's just kind of this mashup of all these inspirations that Ed had. And he was, he was a great, obviously great comic book artist and great comic book creator and writer. But man, he was also a historian as well. So basically the story of Red Room, and if I get through a page and I think it's cool like that, like look how cool that is. That's such a cool drawing there. That guy bent over. His stuff looks just so natural. So anyways, the story is about this guy who is a cop, and you find out later on that, you know, he used to basically do what these people are doing, and pretty much they bring him on. And that's pretty much all you need to know from the first section. His wife dies, so he needs to make some money. There's a guy who's working with this, you know, these people who torture people online, and there's rich people who, you know, pay money to watch them torture other people. That's pretty much what it is. And they like kidnap people, and yeah, it's kind of like Saw mixed with like Hostel mixed with like your horror movies of like the 80s. So, man, I love the way he draws. That's such a, like, man. So good. So good. And the ink, I mean, look at those lines, those ink lines. And even the lines like on the bed there and on the ground. I mean, you have like you know that's like a rug, like one of those rugs that would be at like your grandparents' house when you were growing up, like one of those like, you know, 60s rugs or 70s rugs. That's a great piece there too. Great, just so good at drawing emotion. I mean, all the forms of the nose there. I mean, the face looks great. It's just, you know. So, I mean, this is what happens when you consume, but also create. You know, it's like Ed figured out the perfect way to consume comics, but also learn from comics. I tend to try to make more than I consume, because I have this weird thing where I'm like, if I consume, then I'll just continue to consume comics, and then I won't ever sit down and draw. And sometimes I have to kind of stop myself and be like, dude, you gotta consume as well. You gotta look at what's going on. You gotta look at different artists, and that's how you become a better artist. And I sometimes go, I don't want to draw from comics because I want to kind of draw from Bridgman. But sometimes you gotta draw from comics, so that's how you get your style. And Ed is one of those guys that really, man, he wore his inspirations on his sleeve. Now, I didn't pick up the, that's a great piece there. Hopefully the light isn't killing it. And hopefully it hasn't been killing it this entire time. But, what was I going to say? I don't remember, so sorry. But, yeah, great stuff. I mean, I love his gesture. I love his expressions. I love the inking. I mean, look at that. That's such a cool... That's gotta be Zips, but... I mean, look at the texture on that mask there. On that Batman mask. So cool. It's so weird. It's like he also has like this realism style as well. Like this realistic style too. It's so many different inspirations like mashed up. Anyways, we're gonna skip some pages because I want you guys to pick it up. And that's a great piece there. If you haven't picked it up, I didn't pick up the graphic novel, which I probably should have because there's some extras. There's stuff like bits and pieces of like storyboard stuff and stuff that, like, you know, like him working it on the page and trying to figure it out before you get the final pieces. But yeah, so great. And the way he draws gore, I mean, obviously if you're gonna do a book like this, you have to be able to draw gore like really well, obviously. So sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here, but yeah, absolute master. And look at the fur. He knows how to draw fur and like hair so well. Stuff's difficult to draw. Unless you're an artist, you don't realize, or trying to become an artist, you don't realize how difficult that stuff is. Look at the like the shingles on that roof there. Like, it doesn't have like this feeling like it's like perfectly lined up, so it looks natural. The ink work is one of those things. I mean, the ink work is the thing that really kind of blows my mind. It's all good. Look at that. Look at that motion. A bunch of stuff going on, a bunch of action going on, the movement. And you don't know that. You don't learn how to do that unless you look at a lot of comics and kind of work off of ideas that other people are doing. Man, such great I keep saying this, but such great expressions. Look at the lighting under the nose. I mean, it's just like, he gets it. He understands it. So I'm gonna skip a few pages. Oh, this iconic piece here. The dude gets his fucking front completely cut off. And then, oh yeah. And And those eyes popping out, bulging out. Man. Kind of get the idea how great of an artist he was. Man, draws a great car there. I don't know if he lightboxed that. I'm not sure. I imagine he did, but I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I love how it's like jumping in the air. It's like in the air, and you have like the movement of the tire. See if we can get some more stuff. This is crazy. Dude getting his head blown off. Look at that. Wow. Look at that piece there. Whew. Crazy. I mean, even like, you know, I know in How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, they tell you that you should try to draw even like people talking in a very dynamic way. But I like that too. I like that too. And man, look at that. Look at that craziness there. How do you learn to draw shit like this? You just watch movies and... I mean, is he referencing this from a movie? I'm not even sure. Man. Getting an acid bath there. I love that motion that he's drawing, like going down. And I mean, look at the striations as he's trying to struggle. And as it's, I mean, how do you learn to draw stuff like that? Like the dude's trying to get out. It's fucking dark shit, by the way, but it's also like mind-blowing to me that he has the ability. Like, what reference do you have of that? I mean, I'm sure there's probably some horror movie that has it, but such a talented artist. Man, look at that room. Look at that. It's just, I mean, everything looks good. The backgrounds look good. The faces look good. The anatomy looks good. Everything looks fucking great. Yeah. Wow. And look at the lettering. So this is X-Men Grand Design. A very interesting idea that Marvel had to have Ed basically retell the entire X-Men saga from the beginning, which is a very cool idea. If you have not checked it out, I definitely think you should check it out. I bought this trilogy, which I wish I'd bought the originals instead because they're a bit larger. But this is very different, obviously, from Red Room because it's not going to have as much bizarre stuff in it. But it's still Ed. Just drawn like Ed. And it's cool to see him do X-Men and do this love letter to Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and, you know, John Byrne and Chris Claremont. You know, you can definitely tell the X-Men hugely impacted him. I'm just skipping through pages because I don't want to show everything off. I mean, how cool is this? And it's so cool because you get to see, you know, Ed's style in, you know, this mainstream comic. Because he doesn't really have that style of a mainstream comic book artist. He can do it, obviously. We saw it in Red Room. But he's just sort of doing his own thing, and I'm happy that Marvel allowed him to do it. Allowed him to be himself, but also kind of do this love letter to X-Men. He draws a great Magneto, by the way. Does great everything. Does a great Wolverine too. Great Cyclops. Just, oh man. I do love me some Jean Grey, that's for sure. Great Doctor Doom too. Man, such a great artist, such a loss, you know. I mean, to think what he could have done and what he would have gone on to do. I really wish he had done more. and not done what he had done. I could have found a way out, but unfortunately things happen the way that they do, and it truly is. I mean, he was a remarkable talent in comics. No one can deny that. I cannot deny that. Nobody can disagree with that statement. I don't believe. I'm sure you'll find one cynical person who will go, "Oh, I think Ed Piskor can't draw. He draws like, you know, a bunch of other people. Why would I want to look at his work when it's just like, dude, there are not many people in mainstream comics that can draw this way." And just such a loss. Terrible, terrible loss. It never happened. He should still be making comics. I mean, I wonder what other grand designs we would have gotten. Would we have gotten, you know, Spider-Man? Would we have gotten a Daredevil? You know, what would we have gotten? And unfortunately, at least from Ed, we are not going to get another one. But beautiful comic. Amazing. I would definitely suggest picking up a copy of it. I would not pick up this version because I think it's a little pricey for what you get. But if it's the only option that you have, then definitely pick it up. I know it's the cheapest option, but it's too pricey for what you get. And then, of course, we get a bunch of people who worked on the book, people like Art Adams, and just it's cool that they put everybody there. And then we get some pieces in the back of him recreating famous pieces. And then we get this sad piece here which says Ed Piskor 1982, and then it says it's blank and insert date here. It's like, it's weird because it's like, I don't know, it's just bizarre to me that Ed is not going to be making comics anymore. And these cartoonist kayfabe videos that are coming out are great, and I appreciate it that Jim is doing it, but one day you're not going to hear Ed's voice on it anymore, and it's going to be very, very sad. So the last book we are going to cover is Hip Hop Family Tree. I have the omnibus, but I also have this, and I think this version is super cool. This manga version, which I thought was really cool, and I wanted to go through the manga version. Oh, I'm very upset. It looks like it got destroyed up top there. I got it directly from Japan, so I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go over this because I think this is super cool, and this is not something that, you know, you usually see, I feel like. But man, I just want to start by saying such a cool idea by Ed to do this, to want to do this. I love that it's like different pages, page colors for the different sections. Another beautifully drawn comic, another Ed Piskor masterpiece. Such a cool idea. I love this because this is a little bit more cartoony and a little bit more fun than the other stuff that he's done. And this is, of course, a lot of people say that this is his like masterpiece. I like Red Room the best, but I can definitely see why people, well, from what I've read, I like Red Room the best. But I can definitely see why people enjoy Hip Hop Family Tree and X-Men Grand Design more. So, and then you get like, I just love the way they did like the color there. So cool. I mean, such a cool idea by Ed. And I mean, to get it out there in Japan, I mean, even if you can get, you know, 5,000 people or even 1,000 people to read your comic in Japan, hey, at least you're trying to, you know, you're trying to cross the ocean and get your stuff out there. I like how he's got like I think that's Keith Haring. Very interesting that that's a part of it. If I'm totally wrong, sorry. Yeah, it's just so cool. It goes over like some punk rock stuff, which is very cool. Man, I love these different, and the book smells amazing. Just smells so good. I can smell it from here. And man, such a great artist. So much hard work going on these, on in these pages. I mean, he's really busting his ass on these pages, and I'm so happy that it came out in a format that I'm sure he was very proud of and very happy about, that he was able to kind of transcend just the simple comic book, the simple floppy. And man, I wish they would do more stuff like this. And I bought this relatively cheap. The most expensive part was the shipping. I know you can pick it up. I forget the website that I picked it up from. I did not pick it up from Japan Book Hunter. But if he is definitely an option, you can definitely pick it up from him. I think he just put a post out how he's got some left that he's gonna sell, and I think the money may go back to Ed Piskor's family. So fucking cool, right? I mean, I love that. So cool. I mean, it's funny. It's like it takes that long to get to Run DMC. I love when he does stuff like this, like where the eyes are very small, like button eyes. Oh man, look at that. That's super cool too. I wonder how much he had to do with kind of setting this book up and making it look the way that it does, and the colors and the it's just so cool. So cool. And the characters look, or the people in the book look like they're real, who they're based off of. So I wonder how well this did in Japan. I'm not sure how well this did, but I definitely can see, I don't know. I feel like this is one of those stories that would do very well everywhere, but maybe not. And that blue is striking. I was blinded by that blue. Wish I spoke Japanese, because I probably would enjoy this a bit more. But it's just so cool to look at. I got this for novelty purposes, obviously. I didn't get this for any other reason other than, it was just cool to have. I thought it'd be awesome to show it off. I mean, great work. I like how he's using kind of snippets of stuff in the background. And I don't know, this might have been the wrong version to show off, but I thought it was really cool to show this off. But yeah, I mean, Ed was just a great artist, somebody who worked so hard at his craft, and I'm kind of upset with Ed that he made the decision that he did to do what he did in the end, because the amount of work that he put into his art, and it just feels like it's just like lost. I mean, obviously we get these pieces, it's great, but I would have loved to have seen what it would have come 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road. And sadly we're not going to see that. And we got what we have here, but I wish there was more, and you always think about that with people who go young, especially in like the creative world. You always think about what could have happened, what could have been next. I'm hoping that there's more stuff that the family puts out there, maybe sketchbooks or something like that would be pretty cool. Hopefully like Fantagraphics puts it out, or somebody puts it out. And I think it's a true shame that we're not going to have any more work from Ed. And yeah, I mean, it's a huge loss, and I would say go pick up some Ed Piskor stuff while it's there. I picked up the Hip Hop Family Tree omnibus, and I'm very happy I picked that up, and I'm very happy I picked this up as well, because I don't know if they're gonna I imagine they're probably gonna keep reprinting his stuff, but I don't know. But who knows? So Ed, thank you so much for the stuff that you put out there. I appreciate it. I'm sure there are many more than just me who appreciate it, and I'm quite sad that we don't get to see more than maybe some sketches or some maybe some unreleased stuff. But you're not gonna have like a finished series that's gonna come out, and yeah, there could have been way more. There could have been some way more interesting stuff that could have happened, but until next time, guys, I really do appreciate you watching, and this was just a celebration of Ed's work, and you know, I'm so thankful that it exists. I'm so thankful that he did put in the work and the time and the effort to bring us, I mean, what, hundreds upon hundreds of pages of work, but I mean, 41, man, he could have done a lot more.